we're waiting to see if we can, the person who has the cards is on his way down. I'm going to sit here and clean you. All right, so let's start getting naked. Well, look, no matter what happened, whether it actually happened or I just said it, you laughed. So, and if I had taken the stuff off, you'd laugh even more. While we wait, I was going to share weird stories from KP. How many want to hear weird convention-related stories? I'm not going to say convention horror stories. I'm just going to tell you stories of things that have really happened to me while I've been in charge or done things for conventions.
It'll be like old times.
It'll be like old times. So, story number one, while we're waiting, because I'm keeping an eye on that back door. We're going to go back to Anthrocon. And Tycoon knows about this, because he dealt with me when I was dealing with all the stress of being the programming events coordinator for Anthrocon. One of my jobs there is not just events, but it's public relations. I actually handle the media for that convention. And I believe it was around 2014, so 2014 or 2015, I was doing PR, and the new events director, they changed it from programming to events. His name was Ash. He wanted to kind of shadow me to figure out if he could do kind of my job in tandem with programming, because he was not really great at public speaking. One of the things I had to do was go to a series of radio stations to do a lot of live, on-the-air interviews. And one of them, most of the radio stations in Pittsburgh are actually pretty friendly. Has anybody been to Anthrocon? Do you know about our relationship with the city? Okay. It's really good. They like us there. We deposit about $14 million now every year into the economy in one weekend. We're the number one, furries are the number one money-generating event that comes into Pittsburgh now. We're bigger than the Steelworkers Union, bigger than the Home Show, and bigger than the Amish. Okay, forget the Amish, we're always bigger than the Amish. But anyway, so I was at this one station, and it was apparently a couple of new shock jocks. And, first thing they say, hi, we want to welcome John Cole. He's the public relations director for Anthrocon. That furry convention that comes into town every year. Hi, how are you? So, why don't you tell us about all the freaky shit that's going to go on at your con? And I was like, well, we're here to raise money for charity. We always pick an animal-related charity. Oh, come on, tell us about your crazy room parties. And I was like, well, we don't actually have any room parties on the event schedule. I have it right here. These are the things that we do. Oh, come on! We know all kinds of crazy stuff. We want the real story. And he pressed me on this for like 2 minutes, solid. And finally, I had enough. Because I'm like, look, I came here in good faith. You want to play this? Let's play this. So I said, well, you guys have gone to radio conventions before, haven't you? Well, yeah. Well, you know what goes on at conventions, don't you? Oh, yeah, we do. And I was like, you've been to room parties at these conventions, right? And they're like, you bet. And you guys are you look like you're ladies' men. Everybody wants to hang around with you. Yeah? And they're like, you know it. And I'm like, yeah, so you guys know kind of what goes on in hotel rooms and these conventions with the ladies coming up? Oh, yeah. And do your wives know what you do? The next words out of this guy's mouth were, we'd like to thank our friend from Anthrocon.
There you go.
They immediately cut to commercial. He's like looking at me, he goes, please don't ever try to make me look stupid on my own show again. And I was like, before you try to make me look stupid, you might want to ask a little bit about, like, have I been doing live stand-up ad-lib for 4 hours every week for the last 15 years? I know how to handle people like you. I know how to handle hecklers, and I'm going to make you look stupid every time. And he was like, what? And I was like, trust me. And I have a coworker, a friend of mine, who's even better at it than I am. And he's not nice. And he just kind of said, okay. And he got up and he walked out of the room. He was actually transferred to a really small market, I think it was Des Moines, like 3 weeks later. Specifically because of that interview and the complaints that they got from it. Yeah, so people in Pittsburgh don't mess with the furries. They just don't. They like, that city likes us and they like our $14 million. I don't received a card box yet. So we can talk about another story. What other weird stories can we talk about? What do y'all want to hear about? You want to hear about crazy events? You want to hear about this is more of a horror story than anything else. So this is when I was events director. I wasn't doing PR for the con just yet. There's a running joke amongst people that set up the events about people that like to be very specific about the time frame that their panel is going to be set in and what they get in their room. And no joke, I received, and Tycoon knows about this one, I received a request from a panelist who said, I would like to do this panel, blah, 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 and this panel, and I need it to be set up theater style, which is what this room is set up in now. Chairs forward, panelist up front. Okay. I would not like to be up against Uncle Kagi's story hour or Two's rant, which shows you about the time frame that this occurred in. I also need to not be scheduled any time that the dealer's room is open. I need to have a dinner break between 5 and 6. I cannot be scheduled after 8 p.m. I cannot be scheduled before the dealer's room opens on Friday and Saturday. I can't be scheduled before between 8 and 9 on Sunday. Essentially, they left me with one time frame out of the entire weekend, 1 hour. They very carefully crafted this whole thing. So I sent them a response back and I said, okay, so you want to be between 7 and 8 on Saturday, right? And they were like, well, if that's the only time frame that doesn't conflict with all these things. And I said, okay, thanks for clarifying. No, you can't have panel space because all my rooms are booked between 7 and 8 on Saturday. and they said, well, what time frames are available? And I said, you can be up against Two's Rant and Uncle Kagi's Story Hour, and you can be up against the Fursuit Parade, and you can be in a panel room that's open as the dealer's room is open. All the time frames they said they couldn't be, that I couldn't schedule them against. So I was like, take your pick. And he was like, well, can't you work with me? I just did. I gave you lots of options. We used to get lots of requests that were super, super specific, and when that happens, I tell people, look, just tell me when you want to be scheduled. If that's going to be that specific, don't make me jigsaw puzzle out whole lines of things to figure out, oh, there's 1 hour on Saturday, it's the only time frame that you haven't blocked out for me to schedule stuff against. And then I'm going to say no, it's just going to be a dick. You don't want to work with me? No, I'm not going to work. So that's another fun thing. I'm still not seeing the bigger, blacker box coming.
The tiny deck version?
Would I rather have the tiny deck?
Oh, you got one video.
I could rip this in half and this could be the tiny deck. I do keep notepads on me all the time to write notes down.
Let's be honest, KP, no one wants to be with the tiny deck.
You know, some people might be into that a lot, especially tiny women, maybe? No. Maybe. I'm trying to be politically correct, and there's no politically correct answer to that. I'm stalling for time while we're waiting. I wouldn't mind playing, but I don't want to waste your time if there are other things you could do while we're, because I'm a boring bastard.
Any time spent with you is a blessing.
Wow, just call me St. Luke's Episcopal. Yeah.
Okay, what if I ask you a very specific question?
Okay.
Some people might have answered.
Yeah.
As a conjure maybe Megaplex hotel, what was the worst hotel we were at?
What was the worst hotel we were at and why?
There's a few to choose
That's
from that.
that's gonna be a tie. No, that's gonna be a tie between the Millipede Hotel that Megaplex 10 was in and the Dandruff Hotel from Megaplex 1.
Which is now okay.
It's still the Dandruff Hotel.
Was it Millipedes where 12 was?
It might have been.
The World Gate?
The World Gate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been down.
So does anybody know why we call those two hotels the Millipede Hotel and the Dandruff Hotel?
Please tell me.
So the Millipede Hotel was, it was very close to Disney World. It's what was it? The
It was,
World
it's
Gate.
the World Gate down.
The World Gate Resort.
Oh, that one.
It was the hotel that decided it was a really smart idea to put tile in all of the bedrooms because the carpet kept molding.
Yeah,
They tiled
they tiled the bedrooms.
the bedrooms because there was mold that kept growing in the carpet pattern because of the humidity and some of the building people that showed up. But it was overrun with millipedes. These big black bugs that were about this long. They would crawl. You would see 3 or 4 of them just in the area going up to the main ballroom. And I was like, wow, we have a sponsor line, a super sponsor line, and a bug line. But that was a bad hotel. But I think the worst was probably the one we had for Megaplex 1. It was called the Dandruff Hotel because it was in. It's hard to describe the layout of this. The way that it was laid out, there were 7 panel rooms or programming rooms, and they were in an interior building. So imagine like this area right here going forward is where all the panel rooms are. This is a building. It's got like glass doors like feeding into it.
Yeah.
From here forward, there was like a small strip of concrete. There was a swimming pool right here. And then there was a little green area, and then beyond that was a set of the hotel rooms that were kind of like motel rooms.
Yeah.
Like they were like an old Howard Johnson's kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know, the door's outside, you opened up the door, there's the bed, there's, oh God, you just reminded me of a crazy story in that hotel. But anyway, over the swimming pool area, they had this like covered, I wouldn't say it was a portico share because you couldn't drive through it, but it was a covered patio, like with a ceiling. The ceiling was painted, and it was stucco,
Oh, no.
and it was super humid, and it was painted, stucco, over a swimming pool, which is also humid.
Oh.
This hotel had peeling pieces of paint all above the swimming pool, and at periodic times, for no apparent reason, flecks of it would just come dropping down onto anybody that happened to be in the pool. And so the joke was that the hotel had bad dandruff. And the worst part, not the worst part, the funniest part was Kage was actually swimming one time, and he just came out while we were doing a show with this big piece of like chipped paint on his head, standing there in a square cut Speedo and said, "I have a story to tell." And proceeded to tell us about the horrible state of the swimming pool and the paint job overhead and how horrible the hotel was and the paint still on his head.
Is that why they left the Ramada Resort and Conference Center that just after that 1 year?
Well, no. I mean, that was part of it. This event started as another event. So we were actually there for 2 years. That particular hotel just had a plague of problems. One of the problems was that year that we had that, I was rooming with a very good friend of mine, Mr. Fox. For anybody that knows Mr. Fox, he is a living cartoon character. He makes weird, cartoony noises. He thinks all wolf characters stink, as Sibber will attest to. All wolves stink, all foxes are floofy. And
The stink lines are actually.
yeah, there are actually cartoon stink lines walking over any wolf character's head. Well, Mr. Fox had a penchant for finding things in this hotel and breaking them.
Oh,
And all he had to do was touch them, and things would break. So he messed up a door in one of the hallways leading into the con space, and he broke a coffee maker and something else. And so he said, "KP, I'm gonna go up to the room." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, a few hours later, I hadn't seen him in the con space. And I'm like, "Has anybody seen Mr. Fox?" And they go, "No, I haven't seen him for a few hours." I go up to my room, I open the door, and you hear the most pathetic voice in this room going, "KP." And I'm like, "Mr. Fox, where are you?" "I'm in the bathroom." And I'm like, "The bathroom? I can't get out." And I'm like, "Well, Vermi, just open the door." And I open the door, and the doorknob pulls off in my hand. The other doorknob had fallen off on the other side. And I'm like, holy crap, the doorknob is broken. He goes, and I'm like, Vermi, let me call maintenance. So I call maintenance. This happened over 20 years ago. The statute of limitations is dead on this story. So I call maintenance, and they come in with a big screwdriver that has this weird, it wasn't like a 4-prong, it wasn't a 5-prong. I don't even know how to describe the screwdriver, but it was something apparently they used to open broken doors because they knew exactly how to turn it, put it in there. They turn it, and here is Vermi with his shoes off, sitting on the toilet like this, sulking. Like, I couldn't get out. And I'm like, Vermi, what happened? The door came off in my hand. And I'm like, Vermi, you broke a door in the hallway, you broke a coffee mug, now you broke the roof. What are you doing? And he's like, it wasn't my fault. So I'm like, okay, we can't obviously use this room because the door is now broken and nobody can get in and out of the bathroom. And I went to the front desk, they gave us a new room. So we moved like 4 doors down in the same building. It's like a house Johnson's. And I'm like, Mr. Fox, don't break this room. Whatever you do, don't break this room. Wasn't my fault. I'm like, just don't break it. So I go back down because I'm in charge of programming. I'm running stuff. A little bit later, cell phone rings. I see Mr. Fox. I'm like, do I dare? Do I dare? My credit card's on this room. Yes, I dare. So I answer the phone. Hello? Dandy? And I'm like, yes, Mr. Fox, can you come to the room? And then he's that sheepish about it. I'm like, what did you do? He goes, please come here before I drown. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. He's like, please come here before I drown. And I'm like, what did you do? Please come. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. So I walk over there. The sink is running full speed, and when I open the door, and he's like, here's the handle. He broke the faucet handle on one of the things, and the water is just spewing out. And I'm like, couldn't you just turn the valve off? And he's like, I was afraid I'd break it. So I call maintenance. The maintenance guy comes, and the first thing out of his mouth when he opens the door is, you again? So I'm like, look, my roommate broke here. Can you turn the water off? And he literally has to say, well, why didn't you just shut the valve off? I'm like, he was afraid he'd break that too. And the guy just looks at me. He goes and turns the valve off. And I said, can we please move to another room? And so go to the front desk. They move us to the 3rd room. And these are not electric keys. These are the real keys. You know, that had the keychain. That's how old this story is. So they give me the 3rd key, and the lady behind the door just looked at me and goes, you know what? I'm putting 2 more aside just for you. And I'm like, it's not me, it's my roommate. And he goes, I don't care. I just don't want to have to do this again. So we get to the 3rd room, and I'm trying to set everything up. I'm like, and Fox trying to put his stuff away. I was like, Mr. Fox, get on the bed. Sit there. And he's like, okay, sit. So he sits on the bed, and I'm like, don't touch anything. And he's like, can I watch TV? I was like, yes, you can watch TV. And he goes, let me get the remote. So he gets the remote. And as he gets the remote, he has to swing the little door open on the thing. The door falls off in his hand. I'm like, Mr. Fox, give me that. And he's like, it wasn't my fault. And I'm like, give me that. So he gives me the door off of the armoire. And I'm like, go sit on the bed. He sits on the bed and just hugs his legs. I put the door like in the little pocket to the side that it would normally slide into. I open the other door and I close it. And I'm like, Mr. Fox, here's the remote. Don't break it. You can turn the TV on. You can turn the TV off. If you're going to touch anything else, it needs to be the door leading out, and that's all you can touch. He was like, can I turn on the lamp? No! You may not touch the lamp. He's like, what if I need to go to the bathroom? Hold it. I said, hold it. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Nothing. You've done enough. And so he sat there and I said, I'll be right back. And I leave the room to go return some stuff to the front desk. I come back, I open the door, and there he is, pathetically holding his knees to his chest. And he was like, that was good. And that is Mr. Fox. And the state of the hotel that Megaplex was in. So, yeah, no, that was a me story. That wasn't a convention-wide story. Yeah. Shortly after that, we went to. He stayed with us at the house that I shared with a roommate before I bought my own house. I will never have Mr. Fox as a house guest ever again, because his ability to break things is superseded only by his ability to just be silly. When we got back, he was like, a bunch of friends were in the living room, and he was like, I'm gonna go take a shower. And I'm like, okay. So he goes into the bathroom, and he didn't close the bathroom all the way. He like kind of cracked open so the steam would come out. And as he's in the bathroom, he's a living cartoon character, and he sings weird songs. He was singing the I'm a Little Fox song. I'm a little fox, foxy, foxy, fox. I'm a little fox, and my tail goes poof. While he's showering, over and over and over.
So safe to say you know the song by heart.
I'm a little fox, foxy, foxy, fox. I'm a little fox, and the tail goes poof. Many times. So finally, after about 6 or 7 times of him doing that, everybody in the room is like just looking at each other going, what is wrong with this guy? And I'm like, Mr. Fox, stop singing, please, or change the tune. I'm a little fox. And it's louder. So he obviously heard me. Foxy, foxy, fox. I'm a little fox, and my tail goes poof. Longer flute. I'm like, Mr. Fox, if you don't stop right now, I'm coming in there and I'm going to pour cold water on you. Louder. I'm a little fox. Foxy, foxy, fox. He's challenging me. So I go into the kitchen. It's for anybody that knows Florida houses, we have a lot of open concept designs. They're just like a little bar. So living room here, bar, kitchen, dining room, hallway that goes to the bathroom where he is singing. Walk into the kitchen, very slowly and methodically, reach under the cupboard, get a 2-gallon water pitcher, put it in the sink, turn it on, let it start filling up as he continues singing. Oh, it didn't need to, it was cold enough. Summertime, but the water was still cold. Close the thing, carrying it, everybody is just looking at me wondering, am I really going to do this? As he's singing, you can hear the exact moment that the water hit his back. I'm a little fox, foxy, foxy, fox. I'm a little fox, and and everybody in the room is just giggling as I come back out, close the door, put the thing down, and I'm sitting there just like I'm sitting here now in a chair, and as he comes out, he's wrapped up in towels, and he has a towel over his head, and I swear, he looks like the Virgin Mary. He's got so many towels wrapped around, and he's like, that was cold. That's all he said. That was cold. And said, I told you I was going to do that. And he was like, but I'm a little fox. And I'm like, Mr. Fox, you're not a little fox. You might be a fox. You are not a little fox. Everybody starts laughing. Even he started laughing. So, I mean, nobody was spiteful or, wow, I don't know where the cards are. They sure are taking their time. Do you think that? Yeah, if you could.
All right.
No, it just said me. I said, Night's not here. We need the cards. Nobody's responding to that. So yes, if you can find Nyght, that would.
Where was their last known location?
Their last known location, the Hyatt Regency Orlando.
Yes.
Yes, all of it.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
Yes.
It's better than saying International Drive.
Yeah, that's true.
I honestly don't know. He might have been in maybe Wallace and helped Nero.
Okay.
There, he's not in second stage, which is wrong.
We'll check the
Say what? You know what he looks like?
fake.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, he's a little bit chubby. He's bald. I just described half of my staff.
Well, I was gonna say he also looks somewhat dead inside, but it still describes the same.
That describes all of the Megaplex staff.
So tries all the Megaplex staff.
Is there
He
some?
usually leans forward a little bit when he walks.
Got it,
So he
that's
has
all.
that like slight that he leans forward.
Okay, he just described all of the original staff members.
Most of which are now here.
That's
Which are here.
So it does hurt down a little.
So I mean, I would head to main stage and see if it's in there. If not there, where it is. You can still ask the mile and a half of people that are still in the reg line. They might know. So I definitely apologize. I was here. I showed up. I kept my promise. People asked me, "Are you going to be here?" I was like, "Yes, I promise I'll be there." You know what? How many of you have seen South Park and know who Tally is?
Yes.
I have no idea what's going on. So I'm gonna make this suggestion. If we can't do Cards Against Humanity, I'm happy to tell stories which are really stupid and as entertaining as I can make them. If we can't do anything, just because we try to raise money for charity, if people want to dump some money into an envelope or whatever and take it and say, hey, this is money that would have been raised in Cards Against Humanity if they had shown up, but KP was there and he said put money in this envelope and we did. Even if it's only $5, we could say Cards Against Humanity raised $5 or something. I would hate for the charity to get stiff just because of something else. What else do y'all want to know? What is, you tell me a story that you want to hear. I don't want to touch it.
No, that's fine.
That way the money doesn't actually touch my hands, it goes straight to the chair.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
But still.
What do y'all want to know? What do y'all want to hear? You want to hear Anthrocon story? You want to hear a Megaplex story? Sure. You want to hear a story about me getting pulled over and missing an airplane flight because I had a sonic neuterer in my locker in my.
Wait a minute. That's not angry.
All right. So here is that story for those of you that are interested. Who knows what the Ocean City Dude Parade is? No? Good. It is a parade for people that want to be in a parade but can't get into a parade any other way. It's basically just random people that show up in Ocean City, New Jersey. Rapid T. Rabbit, God bless his soul, invited me to come down and be in the parade. And I was happy to do it. Came in, did the parade. When I was getting ready to fly back, for those that don't know where Ocean City is really close to Philadelphia. You have to fly into Philadelphia in and out to get there. And then I had to drive down or else I walked over the bridge. I got to the airport in Philadelphia. This is pre 9/11. So this is like a long time ago. I had my fursuit, which was a copyrighted Hanna-Barbera character at the time, in a footlocker to protect it. Hard side case, very heavy metal all around us. When I was in Ocean City, we found this thing called a sonic sword. And it was a cardboard tube about yay long that you could hold and wave. And as you waved it, it had a spring inside it that went. It vibrated differently depending on how hard you waved it. I thought it would be more funny or funnier if I wrote the word over sonic sword, if I wrote sonic neuterer, and I sat there and I would do this to people. And aimed it at their crotch. And I was like, yes. Neutering you, boing, neutering you, boing, neutering you. This is 1999, okay? It was a thing. So I did all that, and I was like, this is funny. I'm going to take this home with me. That was a mistake. When you put a box that has a big, long tube and 2 big metal springs inside it, and it goes through an x-ray machine. You can guess what they think it looks like. So they pulled me aside and they said, we have to inspect that. And I was like, can you please do it out of public view? We need security over to this right now. And I was like, please, there's a costume in there. It's a copyrighted character. I can't have it taken out in public. But you're more than welcome to take it out behind curtain. And they're like, we need more security over here. And I'm like, look, you can do anything you want, just please don't take the costume out here. There are kids around. Please take it out. You don't want to take it out around kids? We have more security. So about 9 security guards show up and they unlatch, they say, can we open this now? It's like, as long as it's behind the curtain, that's fine. So they take it behind the curtain, they unlatch both sides, because it has those metal latches on the sides. Open them up, press the little button, link it up. Take out a bodysuit. Take out the hands and the feet. Or not the hands. The hands were actually attached to the body. They take out the bodysuit. They take out the 2 big feet. They take out this big 1970s karate dog character from Hanna-Barbera. You can guess who it might be if you know anything about them. Put that on the side, and I was like, that costs $3,000. Please handle it with care. They look inside it. There's nothing in there. They look in. The guy looks in the box, and he looks up at me. Are you shitting me? And I'm like, you guys wanted to look, pull it out. So he pulls out this tube that has handwritten Sonic Neuterer on the side. And he shakes it and it starts going, oing, 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 oing. And I was like, if you want to take that sleeve off, it says Sonic Sword. I wrote that on there. Takes the little piece of paper off and says Sonic Sword on it. He puts the Sonic Neuterer on there and he holds it up to the people at the x-ray machine. Goes, is this what you were worried about? And they were like, yeah. And he was like, and he looks inside and he points it at his partner's crotch. He's like, and he's like, I think he's okay. And he puts it back in there. He goes, if you want to pack this up, you can. And I was like, okay. And he goes, before we do, we have to ask, is there anything else that you want to let us know about? And I was like, well, there was nothing else in the box that you really need to know about, but if you're curious, I can tell you stories about that costume. And they were like, just put it in the box. And I'm like, okay. So put it in the box. The stories were how I had to obtain the costume through Hanna-Barbera. It took 5 years to do. It was crazy. Put it back in the box. Put it back in there. So I was detained from getting onto an airplane because I had a Sonic Neuterer in my pursuit case. Coincidentally, it's the first time they ever bumped me up to first class. I had never had the hot towel that they give you. You ever flown first class? Get the hot towel? If you fly first class, one, they give you free booze. I don't drink, so they gave me free Perrier water. They gave me a hot towel. I asked them, what do you do with this? Because I never had that. Like, I'm not going to take a bath. What do I do with the hot towel? You put it on your face. You refresh yourself with it. And I was like, I need a cold towel. This is hot and sticky. And they were like, this guy's a dork. And then the worst part about that particular trip was on the way back, they had bumped me to the next flight. All of the stewardesses kept coming up to me, Mr. Cole, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, we're just checking on you. 3 times before the plane takes off. Are you all right? Can we get you anything? And I'm like, fine. After we take off and they have the seatbelt thing in, the same stewardess comes up, Mr. Cole, how are you feeling? And I'm like, okay. Did they tell you about the Sonic Neuterer? You know, why is this going on? And they checked on me like 5 times during this flight, and twice, once before I landed and then once after I landed. Was the landing okay? Are you all right? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. And I'm like, why are these people doing this? And so I collect my luggage, and as I collect my luggage, one more person from the airline comes up, Mr. Cole, was your flight okay? I'm like, yeah. Do you need anything? Can we get you somebody to help you to your vehicle? I'm fine. I'm like, this is weird. Do they think I'm Michael Jackson? What's going on? So I get all my stuff into my car, and as on my way home, I get a phone call. How many people know who Tiger Cowboy is from MFF? Tiger Cowboy was a really good friend of mine when I lived in Houston, and he happens to work for a travel agency. And he happened to book my flight. And he happened to code me as a frightened flyer. Who happened to be bumped from his flight and was put on a second flight. So the airline was constantly checking on me because they were afraid that I was going to be terrified and I was going to sue them and I was going to do weird things because I was a frightened flyer when I'm not. And I felt like I was a 9-year-old on this plane with this poor woman coming up to me like every 30 minutes. Mr. Cole, are you okay? Do you want a cookie? Is everything okay? So yes, my flight to Ocean City, New Jersey for the Doodah Parade, when I had a sonic neuter on the way back home, it was a little adventure. I have weird stories too. I'm just not Uncle Kage. Mine don't involve alcohol. I was stone cold sober when all this crap happened. No, it makes it worse because I can't blame alcohol on it. Yes, to come on a cruise, please do. Like I said, I don't know where the cards are. I apologize. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I'm doing a song and dance. Unfortunately, I only know certain kinds of dance. Tap being one of them. I used to be able to. Yeah, tap and ballroom. Yeah, jazz, tap and jazz. Yes. So who wants to hear the story about how I almost got Anthrocon in trouble with one of its hotels before I became a board member?
Oh, yes, please.
All right. So year was, it was the first year. We were in the year we were in Valley Forge. So that was either 1999 or 2000. I think it was 2000. I was rooming with a lot of people from Florida. That we live here. A lot of the Pawpack crew was in the same hotel. And a lot of them were drinking weird drinks. Like some had like some chocolate milk, and some had club soda, and some people had some booze and whatnot. And there was a little bit left over. And so they ended up making a bar rag. For those who know what a bar rag is. And they poured everything into one cup. I do not know exactly what chemical reaction was happening, but that drink fizzed. And there was no soda in it. Well, there might have been club soda. But that thing with milk and chocolate and wine and like vodka and all this, it turned into a new life form. I don't know how to describe it. And we're all laughing about the fact that it's sitting there bubbling and growing. It had a beer head on it that was deformed in ways that no head should be. It was like a hydra. It was horrible.
Wild.
Yeah, it was wild. And so Rasfar and I we filmed a couple of crazy things. Like, it's either the cup or it's a really bad case of X-Lax. You know, we had no idea what it was. We ended up putting this cup in one of the elevators, in the middle of the elevator. And we took great delight in like watching as people would get on and off the elevator, and they were all standing around the edges around this cup, refusing to talk about it. And they're just like, we watch as, you know, we're on the 3rd floor, we're watching, and as the elevator doors open, we push the button, as the elevator doors open, people just like, and nobody would get off, so it's like the cup is telling people, hey, I want to get off, I want to open the doors. And so we're just laughing and laughing.
I mean, it probably was sentient by that
It probably was. So Yappy Fox had like a radio that was tuned in to the con's radio frequency. And we were listening to the security channel. And as we're all giggling about this thing, a call comes out and says, security, can somebody please check out a report on the elevators about a cup? And we're just getting there going. So the next time the door opens, like Rasbar, guy left this big, bolts down the hallway and he grabs the cup and he pulls it off. And the elevator goes down to the lobby. Well, apparently that's right when security was waiting. And they're like, security comes on the radio. this is security. There's nothing on this elevator car. And they're like, okay. So Raspar, being a jerk, is back on the 3rd floor. He pushes the button, it opens, he puts it right back in the middle. And he stands out there, and we're waiting for it. And about a minute later, security, can you please check out elevator 2 again? There's another report about a cup. And so the elevator door opens, and he takes the cup out, and it goes down, and they're like, this is security. Elevator 2 is clear. No cups in there. And he goes back in and puts it back in again. And it starts going up, and somebody calls another report. 3rd time they make a call. Security, can you please check elevator 2 again? There has got to be a cup on this elevator. Next thing we hear was Uncle Kage's voice. This is Kage. I'm going to go up to the 5th floor and find out what the hell is going on with this cup. So Raspar runs down there and takes the cup off the elevator, and he puts a Post-it note down there that says, place cup here. And he put it in the middle of the elevator, and he goes up. And the next thing we hear is Kage's voice coming over the radio. This is Kage. If I ever find out who is putting Post-it notes about a cup on this elevator, bring them to me. So, yes, that's how we almost got the Aftercon in trouble with a really, really filthy, nasty cup. Do y'all want to know the story? And this is true. Do you want to know the story about how the rumors about litter boxes started? I can tell you the actual story, and I can tell you when it happened. It happened at Anthrocon 2000. It was either 99 or 2000, but it was in Valley Forge. How this happened, back then, Anthrocon had to attend about 600 people. It wasn't anywhere near as big as we are right now, but it was a really, really small event. Did we find Nyght? Nope. Okay.
And I got more bad news.
What's that?
Apparently the event was canceled 45 minutes ago by Night Panther himself.
Okay. So y'all have the answer. Let me continue with the story, and then we'll figure out what we want to do with the rest of the day. Or what? Okay. That's it. So there at this particular convention, this particular year, there was a room that had 4 people rooming in it. Ooh, big surprise! A furry-con with 4 people rooming in one room. 2 of them had people with dog personas, and 2 people were cat personas.
Oh, no.
Now, they were friends. They actually knew each other. They were friends. But the people that were dog personas said, we're going to play a joke on the cat personas. So they went and they got a litter box, and they put some litter in it. And this particular hotel, the way the rooms were set up, have you ever been in a hotel? You open the door to the room, and the bedroom is like, there's a little hallway. Bedroom is straight ahead, and there's a little alcove with a sink that leads to the bathroom. So you go to the right, there's a sink, you can wash your hands. There's a bathroom next to it. Well, the sink area underneath it was open. So they took this litter box with some cat litter in it, and they put it under the sink as a joke. So it was where you could see it. It was very obvious it was there. And dog carriers are like, we're just going to see what they say when they come back. Ha, 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 ha. The 2 cat personas come in, first thing they see is the litter box when they walk in, because it's like right there in front of them. They're like, what the hell? Wait, we'll show them. So one of them went downstairs to a vending machine that was outside of the gift shop, and they bought a Baby Ruth candy bar. Oh. Has anybody ever seen the movie Caddyshack? No! They took the candy bar out and they put it in the litter box. What does it look like? A human-sized dookie. So they said, we're going to wait and see what their response is. Oh, no. So they waited down the hall, and when their friends came back up, they opened the door, and there is a litter box that's slightly pulled out from under it, and in it is a candy bar this big. Well, that's not what really was good. That was what they wanted to happen. That wasn't what happened. What happened was, while they were down the hall, a housekeeper came in to service the room. She saw that and called the hotel manager. The hotel manager came down, got some people from the staff involved, got the people from that room when they were all there and said, what's going on with all this? What's all this garbage? And they said, look, this was a joke. They have cat personas. We wanted to make fun of them. We put a candy bar. They lifted up. See, look, it's a Baby Ruth. Here is the wrapper from it. We put it in there to look bad. We're sorry. The hotel manager said, okay, since that wasn't real, just don't do anything like this again. It'll freak our housekeepers out. Please behave. They agreed to it. But the story about that litter box and the candy bar circulated. Eventually it turned into something that Fox News thinks is hilarious every 2 years now, wants to say that people are using litter boxes in schools and they're doing this, that, and the other thing. If anybody ever tells you that, you can say, actually, I heard it from the horse's mouth. The way that started was somebody put a candy bar in a litter box as a joke on 2 people that had cat personas. And they were trying to get back at the dog personas that did it. That is the true story of how that rumor started.
You ever maybe want to test a person outside of this room?
I don't even remember who the people were, because again, that was 1999. That was like 25 plus years ago at a con that had only 600 people to 800 people. But I remember it happening because I was around when the whole thing was going down. But that's a really good example of how telephone works and stories get pushed out of proportion. And they hear about the fact that litter boxes are used in schools. It's not litter boxes, it's cat litter that's used to absorb oil or like vomit or blood or some kind of biomatter that they don't want to touch. They put it on there to absorb the moisture and then they scoop it up. But people being gullible as they are, they want to make something out of nothing, and furries are easy to make fun of.
Journalists.
Right, yeah. Well, it's not even journalists. I wouldn't consider Fox News journalists, I'm sorry. But I will say this, Megaplex does not do a lot of things with the media anymore, primarily because of the environment that we're in. It's very easy to paint a target on the backs of not only the convention, but the people here. We don't want to create a situation where people get uncomfortable. But in Pittsburgh, which is almost the polar opposite, they embrace furry culture. They absolutely adore the fact that furries come in and spend millions of dollars. And it's a very artistic community, and they embrace the art. They really, really love it. How many of you have ever been to Pittsburgh for InfoCon? Have you been recently with the block party?
It's on the bucket list.
So, do you know what, those of you who have not been, do you know what the story about the block party is? This will also tie into like the big brouhaha with the parade that we had this past year. You know that the parade was limited to just people that had no skin shown. It didn't mean they had to have full fursuits. People have reinterpreted that, but you had to wear something that covered skin, so it looked like a costume. The parade is being rebranded as a costume event. It's a costume showcase. But people were like, well, what about people that overheat too easily? What about people that can't afford that? That's what the block party is for. The block party is a 2-block to 3-block area between 9th Street and 11th Street along Penn Avenue that is open to anybody to wear anything within decency standards, meaning you can poodle all you want. You can wear anything that doesn't violate the city's decency code. You can't go pantsless, basically. You can't show a lot of nipplage if you're female and so forth. But if you're dressed in a way that's appropriate for the general public, even if it's weird, they don't care. That's what the block party does. The block party is a place where the fandom is on pretty full display. You wear the t-shirt that you want, so long as you're not trying to provoke people and be a jackass about it. You can wear things with furry art, you can do drawing, there are street dancers, there are food trucks out there serving food. The media comes out there, they film. We also have bad actors that come out and film, but you can't control that. But the block party is a place where people come in and they celebrate furry for what it is. It's a big, weird conglomeration of people with a lot of diverse interests who really just want to express themselves. And I encourage people, like, to not only go there to experience that, if you really want to if you want to live in Zootopia, go to the Anthrocon block party. You are in Zootopia. Fursuiters are just freely walking around, and the city not only totally accepts them, they're actually asking them questions and conversing with them and buying them drinks, and it's a big part. But that's an example of what happens when you have the media, and we do our job with the con correctly, and we don't have people in charge of the state trying to do bad things to innocent people.
Good Lord.
Yeah. We're actually trying. Anthrocon will be celebrating its 20th year in Pittsburgh next year. We're trying to get the governor, the mayor, and the city council all show up for a big celebratory event.
That would be neat.
Yeah. We've had the county executive. It's like that's one step above the mayor, one step below the governor. We've had him there before. Also trying to get the CBS morning show that always features Anthrocon fursuiters to come in and have the hosts do something with Anthrocat. If anybody knows Anthrocat, I love it. I love Anthrocat. Somebody once said, "I will die for Anthrocat." It's like he is just the most adorable little fuzzy figure. And he's supposed to be this tall. He's actually about this tall. And there's a puppet of him now, and he's adorable. But they celebrate that. We're trying to get the NPR station to come down. There's a radio station that's considering playing music and simulcasting it over the radio so fursuiters can dance to it during the block party and during the parade. It's going to be fun. But that would be my vision for Orlando and what Megaplex could be. We just have to get through rougher times to get to better times. Yeah, but in the meantime, this is a safe zone. And if anybody ever sees anybody, and this I'm dead serious, this is not a joke. If you see anybody that doesn't look like they belong, or they look like they're doing something weird, or they're carrying something weird, don't interact with them. Get a safety team member right away. We value your safety above everything else.
OCPS is here on detail.
Yeah, the county sheriffs are here. And they're going to be watching all weekend because we don't want any bad actor incidents, trying to make news by hurting those crazy animal people. We don't want that. Your safety as family and friends is far more important to us.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
If I were to walk outside Megaplex, I was thinking about bringing my
So
but I was like,
Orlando itself, especially this area,
This is a pretty safe.
the iDrive area is filled with what are called safe spaces. If you look at the doors outside, Orange County, this is an Orange County thing. This is also one of the reasons I think Orange County is being doged right now. It's because of this program. You will see a lot of places and buildings that have a big rainbow sticker on it that says safe space. If you're ever being harassed, stalked, if everybody's ever bothering you, you can go into any building that has that and you can say, there's somebody out there that's harassing me or is following me and I don't feel safe. Can you call a police officer? They will call a police officer or a sheriff and let you stay there while you wait until they get there. And they will make sure that you're safe. Orlando is not like most other Florida cities. Miami is a bit like this. Tampa is a bit like this. Daytona is a bit like this. But Orlando lives on tourism. And we live on the fact that people want to come here to have a good, safe time, regardless of what their political belief, their stripes, their, not to say anything about tigers. But we want the residents of Orlando want you to feel like you can come here and be safe no matter where you go in town. So that's a very important thing. I always refer to us as an island of blue and an ocean of red. Orlando has a very different mindset than most of the rest of the state. And that's because our livelihood depends on it. So we try to behave ourselves as much as we can. We try to be friendly. And that's one reason why I think Megaplex is the 5th largest furry convention in the world. Very soon to possibly be the 4th. Might happen this weekend. So, we are not about numbers here. That's not important to us. What's important to us is giving you an experience that showcases the furry fandom from the Florida perspective, because Florida furs do have a little bit of a different way of looking at things and approaching things. I think it's because we get too much sun, personally.
Yeah.
But we have a different lifestyle. We're the only ones I know of that do Christmas parties on the beach. We just do. And we want to share that vibrancy, whether they're folks from Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Miami and South Florida, Fort Myers, or Orlando, Daytona, Tampa, and Central Florida, or all points in between. We want to share with you what we think is a unique part of the furry fandom and something we celebrate. And we want you to experience that, even if it's only for a weekend. That's why Megaplex is important to us. We share something new with you, and we like doing things a little different.
That's why I keep coming back.
Yep. We're always trying something new. Maybe it doesn't work, but you can't fault us for trying.
Yep.
And we do try to learn. Feedback is very important to us. Please, if you see something that you love, tell us what you love. And if you see something that you don't like or you think can be improved, in a constructive way, let us know what it was you didn't like and what you think would make it better. Don't just say, I didn't like this or this sucks. Say, registration line was really long and it was uncomfortable. Could you possibly try this? Would this work better? If you have an idea, we're always open to it. The simple truth of the matter is, I don't know of any furry convention that has the space that we have, with the registrations that we have, that can accommodate 5,000 people all showing up on the first night and expect them to get through in 30 minutes. That's just not going to happen. But we're going to try our best to get through as we can. Yes?
We need a KP story hour next year.
You want a KP story hour?
Yeah, that would be
The
great.
problem with the KP story hour is more weird crap has to happen to me. And I don't know if my heart can take it.
There will be New Year's that will hear your story and
I can leave y'all with a heartwarming story if you would like to hear a heartwarming story. One that's not weird, one that is all the feels. Many years ago, I used to do a lot of volunteer work at a local organization called Give Kids the World. You know the story, I'm probably going to tell. Give Kids the World is part of Make-A-Wish. And it's for individuals, mostly children and their families, whose wish is to visit one of Central Florida's most beloved attractions. Now, that's a generic way of saying a kid wants to come and meet Mickey Mouse, or see Spider-Man, or go to NASA, go to SeaWorld, ride a specific roller coaster. It could even be they just want to go to the beach. It's something that Central Florida has that would be very hard to do anywhere else. There was one particular time, I used to do both character performances in fursuit and I would do puppets. And this particular weekend, or this particular Friday night, I was doing a puppet performance. Ezra, the sheepdog, and JR, can't be here, miss you, pal. Different story, not gonna go there. JR was doing Point, the ferret. And these two characters were doing their little shtick, singing little songs, happy boys and happy girls from Aqua and stuff like that. This one little boy kept coming up and he kept grabbing the puppets, like right on the stage, just running up to the stage and grabbing them. And we would say, okay, we need you to kind of sit down, we'll get to you, and we're gonna have an interview, and all of you can talk, and you'll be able to tell your story. And you would sit down, but then you would run right back up a couple minutes later. After about 15 minutes of this, I'm like, okay, this kid's not gonna stop. We need to start doing the interviews early, and we need to figure out why he's running up here. So we said, okay, it's time for us to meet all our friends. Our friend who keeps running up, why don't you come on up here and talk to him? So he runs up there and he starts reaching for the puppets. And I kind of pull back and I was like, well, before you grab me, before you touch me, why don't you tell me your name? He goes, my name's Jeremiah. And I was like, Jeremiah, where are you from? I'm from Missouri. And I'm like, okay. And he's reaching out again. I was like, why do you keep trying to grab me? And he said, well, I just want to know what you look like. Does anybody know what that means? He's blind. And he had no idea what was talking to him.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, why don't you gently feel my face? And so he stops grabbing, and he actually reaches out, and he starts touching with both hands. He goes, you're a dog. And I'm like, yes, I'm a sheepdog. And he goes, oh, what's a sheepdog? Just like that, what's a sheepdog? I'm like, well, my job is to stand on a hill or on a mountain, and when the sheep are grazing, they're eating the grass, my job is to keep them from wandering too far away so they don't get lost. And he goes, oh, okay, I understand. And Point says, do you want to know what I am? And he goes, yeah. And so I said, okay, feel me. So he's putting his hands on him. Now, this is a ferret puppet. A ferret is not a common animal. And he's like trying to feel it. He goes, well, you've got whiskers, but you have tiny ears, but you have a long nose, and you've got a body like a dachshund, but you're not a dachshund, and you have a long fuzzy tail. I don't know what you are. And he goes, I'm a ferret. And he goes, oh, well, what's a ferret? And Point says, well, some people call me a weasel. And he goes, oh, I know what a weasel is. And I thought he was going to say, Pop goes the weasel, because that's what most kids say. And he goes, my dad says his lawyer's a weasel. We had the same reaction. We couldn't stop laughing. We're like, okay, well, Jeremiah, we need to interview some of the other children to find out where they're from. Can you take a seat? And he's like, yes, thank you for letting me know what you are. Well, this took about 20 minutes for him to figure all this stuff out and have this interaction. We felt really bad. So we did the rest of the show. And we talked with what's called the MOD, the manager on it. We said, hey, when everybody leaves, I need to talk to them. And I was like, I need you to get that child's address. Don't give it to us because we know we can't have it. But we're going to bring something for him next week. I'd like for you to send something to him and his family. And they were like, well, okay, what do you have? And I was like, it's a surprise. We'll tell you when we get it. And I'm like, okay. So I told all the other puppet crew, I was like, hey, I got an idea. I feel really bad that this kid didn't know what we were for a good part of the show. Let's film a video for him, a special video just for him. And Yappy just looks at me and goes, the kid's blind. Why are you going to send him a video? I was like, I need you to trust me. I got an idea. Let me flesh it out. Trust me. And Yappy's like, okay, KP, you're a nut, but usually your ideas have something to them. We'll do it. So I went outside and I got something from outside the castle, which is where we performed. And I showed up at the puppet show and I was like, Yappy, we're going to do a special video for this little boy. I need you to play Beep Beep after the show. When we film, I need you to play the song Beep Beep. There was another song, and then I think it was Happy Boys and Happy Girls. And I said, and I need A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes, the a cappella version. And then I want Adios Au revoir Wiedersehen from Lawrence Welk. And he was like, okay, well, it's a weird combination of music. And I was like, we're going to tell a story. This is for an audience of one. You guys will understand where I'm going with this as we do the video. Just follow my lead. And he was like, okay, you're kind of crazy, but we'll do it. We did the regular show, and then at the very end we said, we're going to be doing, at the end of this, if you want to stick around, we're going to be doing a special show for an audience of one. This is for a kid from Give Kids the World. We are not going to be interacting with the audience. We're not going to be talking to you. We're going to be talking directly to the camera. You're welcome to watch, but understand this is not a regular puppet show. And a few people did stick around. So we started filming. I was like, the music came on and we're like dancing around a little bit. Oh, hey Jeremiah, it's your buddy Ezra. You remember me from Give Kids the World? You came to visit me in the castle. And we had a really fun talk. Some of my friends are here, and I bet you remember Poink. Hey Poink, can you come up? And he goes, yep. And I'm like, Poink, look, Jeremiah's here. And he goes, oh, Jeremiah from Give Kids the World, how are you? And I said, hey Rummage, are you around? And Rummage the raccoon comes up, and he goes, what do you want? And I was like, Jeremiah, this is my friend Rummage. He's a raccoon. Rummage, say hi to my friend Jeremiah. And Rummage goes, oh, hi Jeremiah, it's nice to meet you. It's like, Jeremiah, we're going to do a little show for you. There's a really fun song that my friend Poink likes to sing. And if you understand how to sing it, you and your family can join in, because you have two brothers. It's called Beep Beep, but it's going to start going faster. And as we go, I want you to try to sing along. Does everybody know that song? Very, very old. It's like, it starts out, while riding in my Cadillac, a car set off his horn, beep, 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 his horn went beep, beep, beep. As the song progresses, it gets faster and faster. And the last verse is, as the guy passed me, as the guy rolled down his window and yelled for me to hear, hey buddy, how can I get this car out of second gear? Beep, 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 beep. And we had the puppet sing it, and it's getting faster and faster and faster. Usually kids laugh at that, at Give Kids. So we did that. I was like, oh man, that is such a fun song. Do you remember if we did that from Give Kids the World, Jeremiah? I think we sang that for you, but this one's just for you. Oh, by the way, can you have your dad reach in the box that this videotape came in? I have something special for you. Hey Dad, can you reach in and grab the pair of sunglasses that are in this box? And I waited for him. I was like, Jeremiah, do you remember you asked me why I was wearing glasses when we talked to Give Kids the World? And I told you it's because I wore sunglasses inside to look cool. These sunglasses are exactly like the sunglasses I was wearing. They were actually the same ones. And I was like, I want you to have them. And every time you put them on, you can look as cool as your buddy Ezra. Go ahead and try them on. Waited for him. I was like, man, you look better than me. Hey, we're going to sing another song for you. And if you know the lyrics, join in. And I remember the song. It was not Happy Boys and Happy Girls. It was 18 Wheels on a Big Rig by Trout Fishing in America.
Nice.
Yeah, and so we sang this song where they count all the wheels on both sides, the left side, the right side, then they count them in Roman numerals, and it's wacky. Again, try to make the kids laugh. They're like, oh my gosh, this is such a fun time, Jeremiah. Hey, can you have your mom reach in? There's a scrap of white fur in the box. Can you get that and get that to Jeremiah? Put it in his hands for me. It's like, Jeremiah, do you remember when you scratched me behind my ear, you remarked how soft my fur was? This is a piece of fur that's exactly the softness of my fur. So every time you hear my voice, you can hold this and remember what I felt like. And said, hey, we're going to do another song. We did another song. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Hey, there's one more thing in the box, but I'm going to need your brothers and your mom and your dad to help with this. There's a little rock inside the box. Can you please grab that box and put it in Jeremiah's hand? And I was like, Jeremiah, remember you stayed at the Magic Castle. This is a wishing stone from the front of the Magic Castle. I got special permission to let you have one. They are magic. I want your brothers and your mother and your father to touch the stone while we make a wish. You have to hold it, and then we're going to make a wish. And we did a puppet routine to the a cappella version of A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Needs. Had all the puppets on the stage come up and sing this song for me. It's like, Jeremiah, we had a really good time at Give Kids the World, and I was happy to be able to share this time with you. My wish was, we made your wish come true by letting you come to Orlando, and you got to visit theme parks and visit us at Give Kids the World. I want you to make my wish come true. My wish is that you get better. So I want you to promise me that when you get better, you're going to come back to Orlando, and you're going to come to Give Kids the World and tell me you're better. Please promise that to me. And I was like, you can rewind this tape anytime you want, and you can spend time with me and my friends anytime you want. We're going to sing one more song, and we're going to teach you how to say goodbye in a lot of languages. And we sang Adios or Auf Wiedersehen. And I said, anytime you want to visit with us, Jeremiah, have your mom rewind this tape. You can play it. So we finished that, boxed it up, sent it with all the stuff, sent it away to Missouri. Didn't really think much about it after, because most of the time, kids that come to Give Kids the World don't communicate back with us. They're end-of-life stories for the most part. About a year later, we got a message from Give Kids. And I said, are the Paw Pets going to do a puppet show this Friday? And we're like, we're planning on it. And they said, Mr. Fox, we need all of the regular puppeteers to come in. Someone's asking for you. And we're like, is this like a newscast? Who's asking for it? Who knows who we are? This is volunteer work. And we don't advertise it. We just do it. Or, just please come Friday. Make sure you're here. So we did. We go into the castle. The castle is filled with people. Like, tons of kids. We normally have maybe 20 kids. There were 50 or 60 kids. If you've ever been to Give Kids, you know the Magic Castle can barely hold 50 people on the floor. There were like 50 to 60 kids there, and parents all the way around the perimeter, everywhere. And people from staff are all the way around the perimeter. We're like, what is going on? Something happened. And there's a ton of cameras around, but they're all parents' cameras. So we're like, okay, we'll do a show. I don't know what we're doing, but we're going to do a show. So we start the music, and everything went silent. All the talking stopped. We're like, hi, everybody. Welcome to Give Kids the World. This is your buddy Ezra. And Point comes up, and I'm Point. And we're like, we understand that somebody asked us to come here tonight. Is there anybody here that wanted to meet us? And this little voice comes from the back of the room. It's me! And the entire room turns around and we look, and Yappy from the back of the green room is looking up and he goes, it's the blind kid. He's back. Well, we had forgotten about it. That this was a long time ago to us. It's a year. We had done like 50 performances since then. I'm like, okay, what's going on with the kid? So they give kids staff, escorts him like a VIP to the front. They had a big upholstered chair on the stage, next to the puppet stage. And I'm like, well, hey, Jeremiah, it's good to see you. And he says, he reaches out and touches my face. It's good to see you too. And we're all smiling. We're like, so what brings you back? And he goes, I'm here to keep my promise. And we're like, what promise? Well, what do you mean, Jeremiah? And he goes, don't you remember? You said that I had to promise to come back when I get better. And he stands up and he goes, I'm cancer-free! The entire audience just explodes with applause and cheering. Half the parents are in tears at this point. And we're like excited, but we're crying too. We're like, oh my God, Jeremiah, that's so great. We're cracking our voices like that. And he's like, yeah, I watched your tape a whole lot and I wished real hard and it was hard. I went through chemotherapy and I did everything the doctors tell me. And I found out 2 months ago I was in remission, and I got news like 2 weeks ago that I don't have cancer anymore. And we're all excited, everybody's cheering and applauding, like that's great, you know. And like all the kids are whispering because they're like, okay, this is a hope story now. This is like, somebody beat cancer, they can do it too. And we're like, well, so is there a song that you want us to sing for you? And without batting an eye, he goes, nope, I want to go fishing with my dad. And we're like, okay, well, you earned it. You go fishing with your dad. He goes, I just wanted to say hi. Bye, everybody. And everybody's like, bye, Jeremiah. So we ended up talking with his mom afterwards, because his dad took him to the lake to go fishing. His mom said that he watched that videotape at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week. And he had that rock in his hand all the time. And he was constantly saying, I wish I was cancer-free. I wish I was better. I wish I was well. I need to go see my friend. I want to go back to Orlando. I wish I was better. And she said, yeah, he would take that rock with him to chemotherapy. He would take that little rock with him and the sunglasses with him whenever they traveled, you know, to the doctor's offices. And she said, honestly, if there's ever proof that someone can wish themselves better, that positive thinking can actually impact your ability to heal yourself, she now believes that that's true. Because he beat very invasive cancer. They didn't think he was going to survive. So that's the heartwarming story. It's like, never ever underestimate the magic inside. Every single person here has an ability to make a difference in someone's life, even if you don't think about it at the time. Just anything you do it with conviction, do it with compassion, but do it like you believe you can change the world. Because even if it's for one little boy, you can do it. And that is my heartwarming story, and that's what we're going to leave this with. I'm sorry we didn't have the cards, but we got to spend some time together. Yeah. Hooray, friends. I hope you have a good rest of your convention. Please come to the guest of honor panel and the opening ceremonies. Charlie Adler, I got to talk with him. If you don't know who Charlie is, he was the voice of like Ed Bighead on Rocko's Modern Life. He was Starscream in the Transformer movie. He was Cal. He was Cal from Cow and Chicken, and the Red Guy. I have it on good authority. The Red Guy is going to do something really inappropriate on stage. The voice is anyway. It'll be hilarious because it's the only thing I've ever seen make Kagi completely speechless. But we are going to do Box of Lies. That's Meet the Guest of Honor.
Okay, so it's actually...
Yeah, it's not called Box of Lies. It should be. But
the description didn't even say anything about Box of Lies.
we will do, and I will talk about that at opening ceremonies as well.
Okay.
But please come and join. He adores the furry fandom. He is not a furry himself, but he has fallen in love with the furry fandom. And to tell one of the things that he told me when he was interacting with a bunch of fursuit, he was like, you sons of bitches have me over a barrel. I can't not like you. So he adores the fandom. He adores how creative we are. Please come and see his panels. Please meet him. He's gone through some health challenges as well, but he came through it. He's a wonderful, friendly person, and he is a big ally for the LGBTQ. So please spend some time, even if you want to say hi and get to know him, or if you know him, just say thank you for the work you do. He will be appreciative. He will give you an experience you won't forget. So, enjoy the rest of the con. Thank you. Yeah.